Welcome to Integration Security. Let's learn how to keep your integrations safe. This means protecting the data flowing between your SAP and other business applications from unauthorized access or tampering. For example, securely connecting your SAP system to a cloud CRM to exchange customer data without risk. Adopting these practices ensures your business processes remain reliable and trustworthy. Security protects data as it moves between systems. This means keeping your information safe while it travels from one application to another. For instance, when a sales order is sent from SAP S for HANA to Salesforce, encryption prevents unauthorized access. This ensures your business communications remain confidential and tamper-free throughout their journey. Only authorized systems should communicate. This means we verify identities before allowing data exchange, like checking IDs at a secure facility. For example, only your approved payroll system should send salary data to your HR system, not any random software. This ensures that sensitive information remains protected and trusted. We will make this simple and practical. This means we will focus on straightforward security steps you can apply immediately. For example, protecting an API so only authorized apps can connect, like a keycard for office access. You will gain actionable skills to confidently secure your integrations right away. Why integration security is critical for enterprise success. Data needs protection when moving between systems. This means whenever information travels across networks, it is vulnerable to interception or theft. For example, when your HR system sends salary details to payroll, encryption prevents unauthorized access. Securing these exchanges is fundamental to maintaining trust and compliance. Prevents unauthorized access to your information. This means only approved people or systems can view or use your data. For example, an employee should access only their own payroll details, not others. This keeps sensitive information safe from misuse or theft, ensuring your business data remains protected and trustworthy. Ensures only trusted systems can connect. This means we verify the identity of every system before allowing data exchange. For instance, only your verified payroll system should access employee salary data in SAP SuccessFactors. This strict validation prevents unauthorized access and protects sensitive business information from potential breaches. Critical for business operations and compliance. This means your integrated systems must run reliably and follow legal rules. For instance, a secure integration ensures customer payment data moves safely between your e-commerce site and finance system, avoiding breaches and fines. Protecting data integrity is fundamental to maintaining trust and operational continuity. Basic security concepts, foundational principles for enterprise protection. Authentication, verifying who you are. This is the process of confirming your claimed identity, like ensuring you are the person you say you are. For instance, logging into your email with a password proves to the system that it is really you. Establishing your identity is the essential first step in securing any system or application. Authorization, what you are allowed to do. This means defining the specific actions a user can perform within a system. For example, an employee may be authorized to view customer data but not to delete it. Proper authorization ensures users only access what they need for their role. Encryption, protecting data during transfer. This means scrambling data into unreadable code while it moves between systems, like your phone and a website. For example, when you log into online banking, encryption prevents hackers from reading your password as it travels. Always ensure your data transfers use encryption to stay secure. Credentials, your login information. This is your unique digital identity that proves who you are to a system, like a username and password. For example, using your email address and a secret code to access your SAP BTP account. Always keep these details secure to protect your access. Finding security settings in the BTP cockpit. Open SAP BTP cockpit in your browser. This means launching the central web interface where you manage all your BTP services and applications. For instance, a developer first opens the cockpit to check user permissions for a new app. It is your primary starting point for all security configuration. Navigate to your sub-account. This means opening the specific project area in the BTP cockpit where your applications and services run. For instance, if you manage a retail application, you would select its dedicated development sub-account. This is the essential first step to configure any security. Look for security or connectivity sections. These are the main areas in the cockpit where you manage access and integrations. For instance, to let your app call an external API, you would go to the connectivity section to set up a destination. Consistently checking these sections is key to managing your applications safely. Find destinations for integration settings. This means locating where you define connections to external systems, like APIs or databases, so your apps can securely exchange data. For example, to let your app fetch weather data, you'd set up a destination pointing to the weather service. This step is essential for enabling seamless and secure communication between your BTP applications and other services. Basic Authentication Method uses username and password. This means the system verifies your identity by checking credentials you provide. For example, logging into your email account requires your email address and a secret password. It's a straightforward way to confirm who you are before granting access to protected resources. Simple to set up and understand. It is straightforward because you just need a username and password to grant access. For example, a developer can use their SAP BTP credentials to log into a service cockpit. This method remains a popular choice for its immediate clarity and ease of implementation. Good for basic system-to-system connections. This means two automated systems can communicate securely without user involvement using a simple username and password. For instance, a payroll system automatically fetching updated employee data from HR software overnight. This method reliably handles automated data exchanges between trusted systems. Works with many different systems. This means basic authentication can connect SAP BTP to various external platforms, regardless of their specific technology. For example, you can securely link BTP to a simple Python application running on a separate server. Its broad compatibility makes it a versatile and widely used method for establishing secure connections. Setting up basic authentication. Go to Destinations in BTP Cockpit. This is where you configure connections to external systems like on-premise SAP systems. For example, if your app needs data from SAP S for HANA, you set up the destination here. This centralizes and secures your connection details for easy reuse across applications. Click New Destination. This means you are creating a new connection point within SAP BTP to link to an external system. For example, to connect your BTP account to a company's on-premise HR software for data exchange. This action initiates the process to securely configure that vital communication link between your cloud application and the target service. Choose Basic Authentication type. This means the system will verify users with a simple username and password combination. For example, an internal employee portal might use this to let staff log in with their employee ID and a personal password. This straightforward method ensures quick and reliable access to your application. Enter username and password. This means providing your unique login credentials to verify your identity for secure access. For instance, when logging into your SAP BTP cockpit, you input your registered email and a secret password. This step ensures only authorized users can proceed with the setup. Save your configuration. This means securely storing your authentication details so your app can reuse them without manual input. For example, after entering API credentials in your SAP BTP service, you save them in the service configuration. This ensures your application remains connected and functional. Always save to maintain seamless access. OAuth authentication method for secure enterprise integration. More secure than basic authentication. Unlike sending passwords directly, OAuth uses temporary access tokens that expire, preventing long-term credential exposure. For example, a mobile app accessing your SAP system gets a time-limited token instead of storing your password. This token-based approach significantly reduces security risks compared to basic authentication's permanent password usage. Uses tokens instead of passwords. This means you receive a temporary digital key for access, rather than sharing your actual password. For example, a mobile banking app might use a token to securely connect to your account without storing your password. This method enhances security by limiting exposure of your credentials. Tokens expire automatically. This means OAuth access permissions have a limited lifespan and stop working after a set time. For example, a temporary guest Wi-Fi pass at a hotel is valid for 24 hours, after which it becomes invalid. This automatic expiration is a fundamental security feature that protects access. Better for external systems. This means it is ideal when outside applications need secure access without sharing passwords. For example, a mobile app from another vendor can safely retrieve your sales data using OAuth tokens instead of login credentials. This approach maintains security while enabling seamless external integration. Configuring OAuth authentication for secure application access. Select OAuth to Samlabearer assertion in destinations. This means you are telling your BTP destination to use a specific, secure handshake protocol. For example, when connecting your BTP app to SAP S for HANA, you choose this to pass a verified user identity. This single selection establishes the trusted authentication method for the connection. Provide client ID and secret. This means giving the app's unique username and password for secure system access. For example, When connecting SAP Analytics Cloud to SAP S/4HANA, you enter these credentials in BTP to establish trusted communication. Always keep these details confidential to maintain system security. Configure Token Service URL. This means setting the endpoint where applications request access tokens. For example, when an employee app needs HR data, you'd specify the URL that issues secure tokens to validate the request. Properly setting this ensures your application securely connects to SAP BTP services. Set up proper scopes for access. Think of scopes as specific permissions you grant to an app, like read only or update. For example, a reporting app might only get a view sales data scope, not a modify orders scope. This precise control is essential for secure and compliant application integration in SAP BTP. Secure communication protocols for enterprise systems. HTTPS, encrypted web communication. In simple terms, it scrambles data between your browser and a website, protecting it from eavesdroppers. For example, when you log into your online banking, HTTPS ensures your password and account details are kept private. This is the essential security layer for any trusted web interaction. The bullet is TLS, protects data in transit. This means it scrambles data between systems, like between your app and a database, so hackers cannot read it. For example, it secures your login details when accessing a cloud service. Always ensure TLS is enabled for your connections. Always use secure protocols. This means encrypting data in transit, like HTTPS instead of HTTP, to prevent eavesdropping. For example, when your application accesses a cloud service, using HTTPS ensures login details are unreadable if intercepted. This foundational practice protects your data integrity and confidentiality in every connection. Look for lock icons in your browser. This indicates the website uses HTTPS, encrypting data between you and the site. For example, when logging into your online banking, this lock confirms your password is transmitted securely. Always check for this symbol before entering sensitive information. Managing credentials safely in enterprise environments. Store credentials in BTP securely. This means using BTP's built-in services, like the Service Manager, to handle secrets instead of hard-coding them in your code. For example, store your database password in a BTP service instance so your app retrieves it safely at runtime. This practice protects your data from unauthorized access. Never share passwords in emails. This means you should not send passwords through email because it is an insecure channel that can be intercepted. For instance, if you email a database password, a hacker could read that email and gain access. Always use secure services designed for sharing credentials instead. Use service keys for applications. This means generating unique access credentials for each app instead of hard-coding passwords. For example, a travel app would request a service key from SAP BTP to securely connect to the Concur service without exposing login details. This method keeps your integrations secure and properly managed. Rotate credentials regularly. This means you should periodically change passwords and keys, like updating a lock. For example, a developer changes their API key every 90 days to prevent misuse if it was ever exposed. This simple habit is a core part of maintaining strong security over time. Creating secure destinations in SAP BTP. Go to Connectivity Destinations. This means you navigate to the Destinations section within Connectivity in your BTE account. For example, to securely connect your application to an external weather API, you create a destination here. This is your starting point for establishing any secure external connection. Click New Destination. This initiates the process to define a connection to an external system, like a database or web service. For instance, to connect your application to a cloud database, you would start by clicking this button to enter the required details. This is the essential first step to establish any secure connection. Choose authentication type. This means selecting how your app proves its identity to access external services. For example, when connecting to Salesforce, you might use OAuth 2.0 so your app can securely log in without storing a password. Selecting the correct method is essential for protecting your data and ensuring only authorized access. Enter connection details. This means providing the technical address, login credentials, and other parameters for the external system you want to connect to, like a cloud application or database. For instance, to connect to a SuccessFactors system, you would enter its specific API URL and your company's authentication details. This foundational step establishes the communication pathway for your application. Test your connection. This means verifying your destination setup can successfully reach the target system. For example, after configuring a destination to your company's HR system, you click Check Connection to ensure it is active and accessible. This simple step confirms everything is configured correctly before your applications rely on it. Save when working correctly. This means only confirming your secure destination after it successfully connects and passes all tests. For instance, after configuring a destination to your HR system, verify it retrieves data properly before saving it. This prevents storing faulty configurations that could disrupt your applications later. Always validate first to ensure operational integrity. Security best practices for SAP BTP. Use strongest authentication available. This means always selecting the most secure method to verify a user's identity before granting access. For example, instead of just a password, require a password plus a one-time code from a mobile app. This layered approach significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access. Always enforce this principle to protect your applications and data. Enable encryption for all connections. This means converting data into a secret code when it travels between systems, so only authorized parties can read it. For example, when your app sends customer data to SAP BTP, encryption prevents hackers from seeing it during transit. Always use encrypted protocols to keep your information safe and secure. Regularly review and update credentials. This means periodically checking and changing your passwords and keys to prevent unauthorized access. For instance, just as you change your home locks if a key is lost, rotate your SAP BTP service keys annually or when staff leave. This simple habit keeps your cloud applications secure against potential threats. Monitor integration traffic. This means watching data exchanges between SAP BTP and other systems for unusual activity. For example, check logs for unexpected data transfers between your BTP account and external applications. Consistently reviewing these flows helps you detect and respond to potential security issues early. Follow company security policies. This means using SAP BTP as your organization's rules dictate, such as approved authentication methods. For example, if your policy requires multi-factor authentication, you must configure it for your BTP applications. Adhering to these internal rules is fundamental for maintaining a secure and compliant cloud environment. Let's practice what we have learned. You now understand integration security basics. This means you know how to securely connect different applications and protect data as it moves between them. For example, when an online store sends customer orders to a warehouse system, security ensures only authorized systems can exchange this data. This foundational knowledge is key for building safe and reliable integrations. You can configure basic and OAuth authentication. This means you can set up simple username password login or more secure token-based access. For example, an app might use OAuth to let users log in with their Google account instead of creating new credentials. This flexibility ensures your applications have the right security for their specific needs. You know how to create secure destinations. This means you can set up a trusted connection from BTP to another system, like an on-premise SAP server, with proper authentication. For example, you could connect a cloud application to your company's secure backend HR system. This foundational skill ensures your integrations are protected and reliable. Remember to always prioritize security. This means making security your first consideration in every BTP activity, not an afterthought. For example, when deploying an app, always set proper authentication before making it accessible. Building security in from the start protects your data and applications effectively.